What could you create if you had 30 minutes to plan and 4 hours to build? Today on the show, we're challenging 3 teams of developers to build the most important app of the day, breakfast. They're gonna use Hashbrown.dev to do it.
Let's go.
See, look at that. Easy.
Yeah, we're sizzling.
What do I bring to the table? I am the table.
You know, I was coming over here to judge your choices, but I can't read your handwriting.
We're not going live with this, that's for sure.
Welcome to the Web Dev Challenge. Welcome into another episode of the Web Dev Challenge. I'm so excited to have you all here today. Our challenge today is a simple one. We need you to build an app about breakfast. Be anything to do with breakfast. And so we're gonna be using a tool called Hashbrown.dev today. And to talk a little bit about what that is and how it works, we're gonna bring up today's advisor, Mike Ryan.
My name is Mike Ryan. I'm from right here in Portland, Oregon, and I'm an open source author first and a consultant second. Today, we're going to be exploring this idea of building generative user interfaces. And the idea with a generative user interface is that in a traditional web application, our users usually come to some kind of home screen, and from there, they're trying to get to a variety of features that make up our app. But those features themselves typically have a variety of complex configuration screens, forms, and detail views that they have to understand how to get around. And this map of how people get around applications can be a lot, honestly, for users to understand and navigate. So the idea of generative user interfaces is that we're going to take AI and we're going to start to challenge some of the assumptions in these applications. For example, those complex forms, I think we can shrink them. By accepting natural language as input, we can simplify forms, letting users configure our apps a little more easily. Additionally, as they're trying to get work done, we can create shortcuts for them that help them get from one part of our application to another part and accelerate the workflows that they're going through. And most excitingly to me, I think we can actually get rid of a large number of these pages altogether and replace them with views that are going to be able to organize themselves, reorganize based on context and user intent, and help the user understand our application's data and structure. So with generative UI, we're taking AI and we're threading it through the component layer of the applications that we're building. And to explore generative UI, today we're going to be using a little tool called Hashbrown. Now, Hashbrown is a framework for both Angular and React that lets developers build generative user interfaces. It's brought to you from the folks at Live Love App. We're a consultancy that help you bring data to life on the web. So here's how Hashbrown works. You're going to have your own backend, and you're going to pick a Hashbrown adapter package for the AI provider of your choice, whether it be OpenAI, Gemini, Writer, or even open weights models via Ollama. That adapter package is going to harvest intelligence from that AI provider and form hardened streaming responses that are ready for your web application to consume. Hashbrown's then going to pick up those streaming responses and give you, the application developer, access to AI state management, tool calling, and even a JavaScript runtime to execute LLM-authored JavaScript on the fly. Using these capabilities, you can build generative user interfaces. The best part is that it's 100% open source and brought to you from a community of collaborators. It's MIT licensed and available on GitHub, so if you want to get involved in the project, please come check us out on GitHub. We'd love to have your contribution. To learn more, you can go to Hashbrown.dev. That's where we have all of our documentation along with recipes that help you get started building with Hashbrown. And of course, we sell workshops too. So if you want to learn in detail how to build this, we'd love to help you out with that. So with that, I cannot wait to see what y'all are going to cook up today with Hashbrown. Good luck, and I'm really excited to see it. Thanks, y'all.
All right, friends. Everybody clear on the tool?
Yep.
Clear.
Your 30 minutes to plan starts right now.
All right. Yeah, well, I feel like you've done the link itself, right? Yeah, after.
Are we worried about like homepage login versus not?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy thing to solve.
Just
the way that I at least think about this is if we had one homepage where I want to make this thing as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
So we demo it, we show off the different features of the app, what it does. We should be able to mock that up pretty quickly, and then have just one other page that's part of the
dashboard or whatever,
right? Something like that, or chat/app, whatever.
Yeah.
So this way, if somebody is signed in, they then can go access
to the
that.
dashboard.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is James Quick.
My name is Brian Morrison. We are the Descaled. So we are planning on building the sausage link shortener today. So it's a link shortener, but breakfast themed. Therefore,
The sausage link shortener.
Exactly.
So the actual URL will be emojis of breakfast items. So as you view the link or go to click on the link, it will not be text that you typically expect. It will be breakfast emojis, which should be fun. We're using Tailwind, using Convex, using Next.js and Clerk, obviously Hashbrown,
Anything else?
Besides that, time pending, hopefully we can get this whole thing hosted on Vercel, so people can use it, just to dabble around with.
I think we are fairly ambitious, like a lot of people are, so we'll have to really start with what are the things we really need to get to a reasonable point, and then hopefully have some time to layer on some extra fun details in the end.
They managed to hit a lot of fun little novelty things. I always really like the sort of goofy URLs, so I think putting the breakfast emoji in the URLs is also a really fun thing to do. I like it.
Yeah.
Another action might be like, what is the status of my latest order?
Yeah.
Right, and then it shows that. It brings that here. It's like, okay, cool. Here's the status of your latest order. And, and it shows you that, right?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Shaundai Person.
Yeah, my name is Scott Moss. What's our team name?
Getting Grits. We're building a food delivery app, and it's called Getting Grits.
Except we're gonna use Vite, so we're using Vite, React, yeah.
Hashbrown, of course.
Of course, Hashbrown.
And we're playing with some APIs, so might be some surprises depending
we don't know
on
yet. It's a surprise for us too. We don't know. We're trying to figure it out. If it works, it'll be great. But we don't need much. We're keeping it traditional. We're gonna do a lot with a little.
I'm really excited about the possibilities that come with generative UI, but also a little scared of just letting my app go crazy and write whatever code. So I'm really loving the concept of restrictive UI generation like this.
Reeling in my imagination, reality sinks in, given the constraints that we have, and I can't do everything. And I gotta be okay with that. And sometimes I'm just not okay with that.
If I had 4 hours and I could think of anything that I wanted to try to build in 4 hours, I think bottom 5 would be to try to build a whole food delivery service. So props to them for the ambition here, because that's a big swing.
What I have, right?
And we could just have it be like, you need to grab a granola bar.
That could be funny.
Yeah, I think I want to just add that.
You don't have time to eat it all.
Yeah, it's like you don't have time for this. You just need to grab a granola bar right now.
Boil an egg.
Hi, I'm David Daniel.
I'm Jane Wheatley. We are the Coastal Coders. So today we're planning to code a recipe making app. Hopefully we'll have somebody type in 3 ingredients, and then a recipe will appear on the right for them.
Yeah, we're going to be using Next.js. We're using Hashbrown. We're using Tailwind. We're going to use Radix. Next is probably going to carry the weight for us. Yeah, I think we're just sticking to that. I have a lot of experience building things. I also get the opportunity to try new technology a lot. So I've been playing around with a lot of AI-based things already.
I feel confident. I think we're going to get a good product out of this today. The time constraint makes me feel a little nervous, but I'm confident.
This idea of sort of taking a list of ingredients and generating a recipe, I feel like is maybe one of the first things people thought about when AI became available. So I'm excited to see how they execute on that.
Okay, so I got the basic architecture set up. Now I'm gonna make the server that we need for Hashbrown, the endpoint.
Oh, he's like, oh yeah, no, we're 17 minutes into planning. He's like, I got the architecture set up. It's fine.
Page.
I was coming over here to judge your choices, but I can't read your handwriting.
That's exactly why we did that.
Some of the ideas are very ambitious. The way that folks decide where they set their cut lines for what's MVP versus a V1, V2, I think that's going to be really, really important in how people get to a finished product here, because you can build anything no matter how ambitious if you pick good cut lines. But if you try to go for the finish line with no give, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. I got to do this. All right, y'all. That is the end of your planning. Wait, what are you doing? Stop planning immediately.
We're not planning.
How's everybody feeling? You feeling ready to go?
Pretty good.
Excited to go?
Excellent.
Yeah? All right. You've got 4 hours to build your apps, and that 4 hours starts right now.
So I'm trying to show loading state.
Yeah.
But I need to differentiate between after I get the first piece of stream message back to stop showing load. So loading is showing, but you'll see it overlaps.
Right.
When I get the first stream.
So there's an is sending and an is receiving flag that all the hooks return back to you. And so the is sending is probably what you want to show the loading indicator on, and then once you're receiving, you're getting chunks back.
Okay, so receiving is I'm actively
chunks.
receiving chunks.
Is it giving you issues?
I was just like copying from Gemini blindly, so it was like dumb stuff.
Wow.
Like stuff, if I actually was looking at it, I wouldn't have.
Dude, who feels like looking at it?
Huh?
Who feels like looking at it?
You know,
That's
like
a
it's
lot
like like that Nicki Minaj line. Who looks at the price tag?
So do we need another route to like for the saved recipes?
Yeah. So we're gonna have 2 routes, right? And that's what that difference was. So like there's a navigation component, right? So you're gonna describe the navigation component. You're gonna talk about 2 routes. This is our creator route, whatever you want to call it. Or the main route, and then here's the saved recipes route.
Okay.
And that's where like we're gonna like do the description of like the cards that have like the thing. If they click it, it takes them to here with just the recipe part. Or maybe should that be like a 3rd route?
Yeah, I think it should be by itself, don't you? Not
Yeah,
the main
like
page.
take a recipe ID
And just show
only that recipe ID.
Yeah.
You can think of the tools as just like our business logic. So
Yeah.
all the business logic that we would in a traditional app where like somebody can click this button to add to a cart. Like pretty much everything a user could have done on a traditional app, we're gonna expose this as a tool to the AI because the AI is the user. I have all these methods, right? Like add to cart, remove from cart, update cart item, clear cart, stuff that all a user can do. So I need to like wrap those inside of a use tool wrapper
Yeah,
for the
so then
AI,
it-
so the AI knows how to use it too, just like a user would know how to use it.
And then it will just take a method. So like this add to cart, it's just going to take that method off of that use tool object, and then use that.
All right, Team Descaled. How's it going so far?
We're getting there, and we're a little over an hour in, and I think we've got a lot of the moving pieces working.
So we already have the ability to register a component, so it's able to like respond with data and then visually display that using a very basic React component at this point.
Okay.
And then the one I was working on most recently is a tool. So in theory, what this is like in the chat window, instead of having a traditional form to say like, here's the link, create a short link for me.
Nice.
I can just paste in, can you create a short link for this address? And then it has a register tool for creating that. And right now it's just logging that to the console, just to like show that it's connected. And then next up, and this is really interesting because of all of that running in the browser, Convex also allows you to run database queries from the browser based on the logged in user. So I will update the console to just call Convex and save that record into the database.
Yeah,
so
you should be able to make any call you want to just right there.
I guess we've kind of settled on 3 components we really want to try and do. One of which is the short link component that James is working on. But we also want people to be able to ask for links based on certain parameters they're sending in. So for the example we're kind of building off of is, show me all the short links I have that have Google in it, so it'll search the URLs and the descriptions in the database, and then they'll show up as links directly within the chat. So that's kind of how I would say we're tackling it. Is currently I'm trying to build the components for James to use inside of the Hashbrown configuration. But
well, I know you only have a little bit amount of time, so I'll let you get right back to it. But good job so far. Can't wait to see how it turns out.
Thanks.
All right, Team Git and Grits. How's it going so far?
You know, it's going pretty good. You know, I think that you guys did a really good job with the DX because it was pretty easy to get set up. Like I heard some other teams saying that they were just now like adding tools and stuff. Like I don't know. I have like 30 tools set up already. You know, I've been testing them out. We got components going. I'm just thinking about like I think we might have underscoped this and we can probably add more stuff. So,
I love to hear that. Yeah, I love to hear that's going well so far. So you've got tool calling, you're rendering components. What's working so far?
Absolutely. So like just to get a glimpse of the actual tools that I registered already, and there is the markdown component that is using to render it. So everything is hooked up. So we got all of our business logic wrapped in tools. Now it's just like filling out the business logic and not having just be like placeholder tools.
Yeah,
so
just actually building the app together.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you been working on?
So I've been adding components to our UI and adding tools, exposing components using the exposed component hook, and then also adding in tools so that we have some functionality. And so when users type into the search bar, they get a very beautiful UI.
Nice.
You know, and we do everything beautiful around
She's
here.
trying not to give stuff away. That's why she's being very.
She's hiding it.
She's like,
Being very discreet.
All right, saving surprises for the end. I appreciate it. I
Has to do with
appreciate it. All right, Team Coastal Coders, how's it going so far?
We have a working state, but it is not working to my liking yet.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. You got plenty of time though. You know, we're not out of time yet.
What we actually started doing was leaning into describing the spec a lot better.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time actually taking our plan and writing out the spec in natural language. And that is currently working pretty well because we got everything working using that approach.
Yes.
So I want to push the edges a little bit and be really descriptive about the components that we want to design and how we want to use them, and then get it to a working state.
So I'm helping out with writing up very specific and detailed prompts.
Yeah.
So that they can then be fed in and all
Fed
the
into Claude
components-
Code.
Yeah, and then all the components can be rendered.
Yeah, I like this approach that you're taking where you're writing out the specs, giving it as much context as you can. That's like the way to get good outputs from generative AI.
Passing props to it. So
Yeah.
this is a map. It's supposed to take a point A, point B.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm structuring this right. So props is an object, and then
Yep.
is this right to have this is the key?
That's right.
And then to say this object, I would just put a string right here.
That's the description of what it is, yeah.
Okay, so then I would say latitude, right?
Yeah.
And then longitude.
Yep.
Why is this so mad though?
So it's going to need a second parameter after the description of like what the elements of the object are. So yeah, here in these, we'll just do like lat, and then you'll do s.number.
Oh, this makes sense. Okay, and
Yeah,
then
and that's going to take a description too. You'll call that and give it a little description. Yeah, that's
Or-
fine, but you'll call number with
Oh.
parentheses and give it a description.
got it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is. I think it's just like understand or
The
remember
schema syntax.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like Zod, but it's definitely unique because we make you do all these descriptions.
Yeah.
And we do it so that way the LLM understands what your data is, right? Yeah. And then just copy that whole object and throw that in for the start.
Oh my God. Okay.
point
Yeah.
A.
Oh.
Oh.
Hold on. What is the order status? Order 2, 3.
What's it gonna do? Look at that. I think
I'm
even drew
telling
some
you.
stop longs. Like it seemed to have rendered it. Awesome. Getting grits.
Yeah, we are getting some grits.
You're getting some grits on this team.
Okay.
All right. You need any more help?
No, I'm good. Thank
right.
you.
Keep
Thank
killing
you.
it.
So, yeah, thank you. I am. I truly am.
We would still want the QR code to go through the redirect though.
You okay, Brian?
Me?
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, we're sizzling.
You're sizzling.
We're cooking.
Okay.
We're grilling. We're whatever you do with breakfast food. We're doing all the stuff.
Breakfast
We're
food.
syruping. Except I just noticed we have an hour and a half left, and now I'm getting a little antsy.
Oh,
Don't let her get in your head.
I know it's gonna be tough.
I know.
It's gonna be tough.
All right,
What's up?
Team Descaled. What are you cooking up over here?
We got some good stuff going. One of my favorites, personal favorite, is the dancing emojis. So these are
Very
the
important.
emojis for the actual shortened URL. So all of this is working. I can create a short link for my personal website. It will actually save that short link in the database. It will generate the actual emojis for it that animate, generates a QR code. A lot of really cool stuff. A lot of integration with Convex, with Clerk, and with Hashbrown all together.
Nice. So what's standing between you and demo?
One of the things that we're building right now is we want to be able to show on a chart what links are being hit. So this is going to be one of the components.
You're building
that we call-
analytics.
Yes, we are.
Amazing. Okay, good.
We're building, well, you know, we're fudging analytics for today, but it'll work. So a user will be able to ask how many times has somebody hit this specific link. Will then just show inside of the chat, just like the rest of the interface. So it's a completely chat-driven interface that has all this extra functionality built into it.
Nice. All right. Sounds like you're leveraging the tool well.
Yeah.
Excited to see how it wraps up. What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Yo, what up,
How's it
Jesse?
going over here?
You know, it's going. You want to go?
We're really struggling. This is so hard. Oh my God. How can I learn to use such a tough tool to use?
She's been working really hard on some map integration to show you where your food is as far as the drone that's delivering it to you.
Yeah.
So we're doing drone delivery.
Yeah, there's
obviously
nice.
drone
Delivery,
It's a drone, and the
Okay, well, it's busy right now.
Yeah, it is. We're having a lot of orders right now.
It's a lot
but
of-
actually, okay. So what's happening is I just integrated it with something that is in mid-flight, and yeah. So before it was taking fake orders, and now it's taking like real
you gotta
orders.
have a real order. So you're in flight with integrating the order part. And then where are you at right now?
Basically, I'm adding some components to Hashbrown to render out a grid of restaurants when someone says, hey, I'm in a mood for so-and-so. So then it'll find those restaurants and show them on a grid. And then those restaurant cards are interactable. So you can like click add to cart on a different menu item, different things like that. And then simultaneously, if you're lazy, you could also just ask Hashbrown to add it to the cart.
Oh, nice. Okay,
So
yeah.
that's what I'm doing right now, but I'm having some errors with stack traces that point to nothing. So
you're working on those cards. You're working on getting the orders integrated. What's standing between you and your like final demo?
Oh, I mean, we're cooking.
I mean, I could demo anything.
Yeah.
Really. I don't know if people
I'll demo this area.
Don't even worry.
I'll but I think once we get past these errors, I think people will be a lot more impressed with what we've been working on. So
I imagine. Yeah. I'm excited to see it. I'll leave you to it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So what are y'all working on right now?
So we, our styling's not there yet. We're working on that part, but we also have now a streaming response coming back properly from the endpoint. That is coming through the LLM response itself. Right now.
So you're kind of having to give you a starter pack of
exactly.
ingredients. Okay.
Right. Yeah,
so which part of this are you tackling right now?
I'm doing the styling, and so I'm gonna push up my changes soon.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you're on the prompt?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on the prompt and to try to get the recipe coming back in the way that we want. And then what's not currently known is if the response will be exactly what we planned. So
interesting.
Yeah.
You can always bail to a markdown card if you need to. I believe in you.
Great. Okay. All right. We got this. All right. Thank you.
Skillet take enums?
Yes, it's called enum type or enumeration.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Perfect. Cool. That's
Cool. That's easy.
This is easy, actually, so.
Is it easy? Has it been easy?
Yeah, it really has. Like, that's been the least. Really, honestly, though. It hasn't been. Like, this hasn't been.
Hashbrown?
Yeah.
Hashbrown's been easy, yeah. I looked at the docs like twice. Like, it's
I know.
pretty
I didn't
straightforward,
even. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
That's okay. Oh my God.
Good or bad?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait.
Do it.
Oh, we got 3 minutes? We should get it merged then, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I don't have any code to push.
Well, we're not going live with this, that's for sure.
Hey.
I can still demo it, I just can't put it out to Vercel.
Bro, you got 90 seconds. That's plenty of time.
All right, I'm ready to merge whenever you are.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
All right, I see it there.
So close, 20 seconds.
Wow, no, TypeScript.
I got back to working.
Nice.
At least it works now.
All right, everybody, hands off the keyboards right now. Hands in the air. That's a build. Give yourselves a round of applause. If this looks like fun and you want to give it a try yourself, we have a challenge going right now. Head to this link here to learn the rules, build your own app, and submit it for a chance to learn something new and win some prizes. You did it, y'all. How's everybody feeling?
Yeah, it's pretty
fun.
good.
Impressed.
Okay, yeah. So now we're gonna jump into some demos. Anybody itching to go first? Yeah. All right. Why don't Shaundai and Scott? Why don't you head on up?
This is Getting Grits. This is a food delivery app. We chose to keep things simple because we really wanted to lean into the Hashbrown way of let's get rid of the nav, let's get rid of all the things, and let's just get down to business.
Let's do something more interesting. So find me some tasty food for 20 people and add it to my cart. Let's see if it adds some more. So it's thinking, it's searching all the restaurants.
Now you got 100.
And now I have 120 things in the cart, and these are all the things that it added. So Oregon berry pancakes, all those things. I can go check out the cart, and I can go see all the things that it added here, and then I can check out. So all the UI here has been completely generated from Hashbrown. We didn't make any of this stuff. All we did was make this search bar, and Hashbrown generated the UI for us.
So the second part of this, you would want to know about your order status. What is the status of order, let's say 88? If your order is in progress, it is like, oh, your order is on the way. It got a little map. Don't worry about the streets because
it's a drone.
It's a drone. So it's like point A to point B. You see what I'm saying? And you get real-time delivery statuses. It's calculating a delivery time and all that good stuff. So you have the full, complete journey of your order from ordering to knowing the status. We're using an API called Mapbox, and that's where we're getting the map functionality. So we have the app.tsx, and that file has all of our app functionality. It has the components that we have registered to Hashbrown, and then we also have a tools file. And then this is where we have all our tools registered.
So what I realized with the tools is it's a different way of thinking, because if you think about it with Hashbrown, now you have like atomic UI elements, right? These are like single components that can be reusable, almost if you're like creating a component library and you're a component library author. But then with the business logic, you have to think in the same way. You have to make your business logic atomic as well, because if you think about these tools, this is what is unique about your app compared to another app that's using the same technologies. Like we all are using Hashbrown, but I bet our functions are way different because our business logic is different. So you have to design your business logic in an atomic way as well, so they can be moved around and be in an isolated way. So if you look at this tools file, what's cool is that it actually is a hook, right? So instead of, like the way that Hashbrown has it in their docs is like you're gonna use the use tool hook individually and inside the component. And it's just docs, it's not meant to show you what it looks like at scale. But if you're gonna add a lot, you can kind of do what I did here, which was basically, there's two things that's going on here. There is these functions that are like created in a context that I have higher up and not inside this file. And that's because there are other pieces of UI that are going to use these functions that are highlighted and not just the AI. So for instance, on the menu item where I can click add to cart, I want to call the add to cart function, but I don't want to rewrite it again for Hashbrown. So I define it somewhere else, and then I import it in here, so then I can then just wrap it in the use tool, right? So that way I don't have to write it twice, and that way the user gets access to the same actions that the AI gets access to, and vice versa. So I think that's just a good way of doing it. And then just putting all your tools inside of here, inside of one hook, so then when you go into Hashbrown where you register, all you have to do is just drop in your tools like that. It's super simple.
Any problems that I had, it wasn't that hard to get them fixed and resolved or kind of debug and figure things out. As long as you had a sense of understanding of React, I think you could just kind of come in blind and do something really great with not that much time.
Let's do it.
So, as you can see on the screen, our app that we built is the sausage link shortener. We took the concept of breakfast food, because who doesn't like sausage links? So we took the idea from the tech space of shortening links, and we smashed them, we mashed them, browned them together, and we have a sausage link shortener.
So we fully authentication with Clerk. So you can see like my avatar over here. We have our chat, and it can do things like, can you create a short link for my website? And I've got a little snippet of my personal website. And then that will do two things. You can see the AI chatbot actually shows you the tools that it calls. That's one of the details that you get back from a message in here, where you can display specifically which tools were called, and then it generates the short link behind the scenes using Convex as a database. So it's actually saved in the database. That's real. The beautiful thing about this is that the actual slug of the URL is all breakfast emojis. So the full link for this would be that. And this will actually take you to an intermediary page where we can hold you and show a loading state, and eventually it'll redirect you to the page that it's going to. And then if I were to say, show me links for Hashbrown, hopefully that will come back with just the Hashbrown link. So I threw that in there just to kind of show the differentiation of searching. And then, in addition to that, you can say, show me statistics for all short links related to James Q. Quick. So this is going to combine that search functionality with an additional custom component that's registered with Hashbrown, same as the display here, for doing graphs of statistics. So this will combine those two things. It'll do the query only for ones that match that search term. It has fuzzy search too. And then it will convert that to a UI for the actual graph. Fingers crossed that goes well.
Yeah, so the way that this is working in the background is it's actually Hashbrown is inferring the actual search term and passing it back to a search engine, or a search index from Convex. And then we're using the Clerk and Convex integration to make sure that all this data is sandboxed to the actual user who's currently logged in. So if somebody else comes and logs into the app, they're going to see a completely different set of data.
They won't see my stuff.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So the one that I just created has 1 hit, and I think for the other couple, I did some just to populate a couple. There's 3 for Twitter and 3 for the other version of my website that I created. Yeah.
And as a complete bonus, we actually went the extra mile and registered actual domain links for this. So anyone can go to sausagel.ink and access our app.
Sausage link. And
there is a short link version.
So not only do we have the longer full domain that you would go to, but then also the shorter domain so that your actual links that you send people are shorter. And that is ssgl.inc, and then you can see the emojis in the URL bar. Also, this is really embarrassing. He told me the domain of sausagel.inc, and I was like, oh, you just randomly picked sausage because it's breakfast. That makes sense. It wasn't until way later than I realized.
It's 2 hours into the
link
challenge.
Part was related to the link shortening. Well, sausage link and link shortening. So the chat, this is the chat component, and it's a mess. We didn't break anything out into separate components, which is, I think that's fine for now. What we were saying of doing things on the front end, so if we look at one of these components, so the link graph search, all we pass to that component, again, it's client side, is the query. And then inside of the link graph search, we have the query and then actually make the database query. So we could handle loading states in there if we wanted to. We actually do a little bit. But anyway, so all that's handled client side, and it was just kind of figuring out that pattern that I think was the trickiest, but then also made this cleaner for Hashbrown to make decisions, because I was able to more specifically differentiate between querying just a list and querying for doing statistics by clarifying in the description, this is analytics.
During the process of building this, I created a debug page where I was able to just drop my components in and kind of give them a test run without having to necessarily worry about putting them into Hashbrown and integrating them. So this way, when I was ready to pass that work off to James to actually make that integration and tie it together, we didn't really run into a whole lot of issues, I would say.
Yep. That was great.
You kind of did your quick and dirty storybook.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And then once they're done, just here, now you register them and set up the tools so this way they can pass the prompts in the right way. Nice. Yeah, it was a really cool pattern. This entire project was actually really fun to do.
Yeah. I think working together went really well.
Yes,
I think we had multiple points of one of us was working on something, and then it was just all right, you finished connecting that to Hashbrown or to Convex or whatever it was. So we were able to work independently and then just bring those pieces together, and that worked better than I ever could have imagined, honestly. Yeah. I don't know. It was so smooth.
We made Breakfast Brain. It's an app where you can insert some ingredients that you find in your kitchen, typical breakfast ingredients, and it will come up with a recipe for you. We give you some quick suggestions down here. So if you can't think of something at the top of your head, you can just click here. So let's try, we'll do Oreos and bananas. Here's the there we go. Okay, banana Oreo breakfast pancakes comes up.
Yep.
So something, a bonus thing that we added is that you can actually save the recipe. So if you are like, oh yeah, I definitely want to serve that later, I'm going to save it, and it says recipes saved, and then you can go into your menu bar and look at your saved recipes.
The common ingredients thing, this is completely AI generated. So this was one of the first things we got working. I was kind of stuck on that part, and with Mike's help, we kind of started with the common ingredients is actually a prompt as well. And instead of like the input prompt, rather than us doing it, we're kind of like hard coding the prompt in. So we had to kind of fine tune that. Initially, it was giving me like full-on cooked products, and I'm like, raw materials. So I was trying to take the opportunity to push myself to use Claude Code in a very different way. And I was telling Jane, like, I know how to do some of these things, and it's really aggravating me to like have to write these prompts this way, but we're gonna lean into it. And one of the takeaways is there's a lot of boilerplate code which we could refine and take away. Our simple handler, like it takes the generator, it's got this system prompt in here, it's got the input schema in here. I don't know if this was how it was supposed to be done, but Claude Code kind of put it there, and that's okay. Initially, when we did quick select chips, we just had that list of common breakfast ingredients, and this is where we were kind of like seeking a little bit of help to figure out how to do this. Use structured completion was the jam here, and that allowed us to then like scaffold out that entire list of pillbox things.
So at first I was getting an error where I needed to use the hamburger menu, but it was giving me an error about that I couldn't use it on the client side. So I had to add this use client to the hamburger menu to fix the issue. But yeah, I mean, mostly it was just like a huge learning experience. Like takeaways also was like work in small pieces, get it pushed up, check that it's working, pull it, and keep going through the process. I think the fact that we got a functional app is kind of incredible. In 4 hours, 15 minutes before end time, I was not sure it was gonna come together, but we pulled through, and it's amazing.
If we had more time, we could go crazy, and there's so many layers that you could do. So it was hard trying to keep the scope down.
As someone who's built dev tools in the past, just like how well thought out the DX was for Hashbrown, given the short amount of time that the folks have worked on it, like it takes a lot of iteration to get to a point where you've built something that's easy to pick up.
There's a misconception that using or building things with AI needs to be challenging and it needs to be complex. And Hashbrown did a good job of simplifying not only the concept of using AI in a streaming manner, but also using that to generate interfaces that could be streamed directly to the front end.
Obviously, it's such a big topic, it's such a big buzzword, but it actually is like more than just the buzzword. Like I think it's easy for developers to kind of use some of the tools, to have it write some code for you, to give you some inspiration, and that's kind of the basics, honestly. It's a totally different mindset when you think about what you can build with it, not just like it writing code for you, but the products that you can create.
Seeing that come together, like you said, in the last 15 minutes, without us having looked at it, I actually had faith. I'm like, it is going to work. It's going to work because the schema says it's going to work. It was amazing watching it just happen and being like, oh, this works and that works. That was pretty amazing. I'm super excited about what they're doing with Hashbrown. I can see all the possibilities playing out in my head.
I think every app that was pitched I could see kind of like there's a proof of concept that you could get out in a, pretty quickly and safely, but nobody settled for that. Everybody built something really ambitious. They went way above and beyond what I would have expected to be possible in 4 hours. And I think it just kind of shows the strength of both the devs that were here and the tools that they were using. My concerns kind of bore out, but the devs did a really good job of kind of immediately adjusting the plan when they hit those roadblocks.
The Hashbrown team is really excited about what everyone built today. We want to have front-end developers create new kinds of user interfaces that weren't possible beforehand. We wanted to make AI as simple as just a hook that you would call inside of a component. So seeing all these teams put together user interfaces built on top of generative UI in that amount of time, I think the Hashbrown team's just ecstatic with what came out of today. Hashbrown's distant alpha. We only released it 3 months ago, and so it took a little bit of, courage, I think, on the Hashbrown team's part to put this in the hands of so many teams and see what they would build in a couple of hours. And so I'm just so relieved right now that it worked.
What well today? I'm really brave, is what I just
Cut.
If you're enjoying this and you want to see us make more programs like the Web Dev Challenge, please keep in mind Code TV is viewer supported. So if you would like to become a supporter for as little as $5 a month, you can help us make more programs like the Web Dev Challenge. What's your favorite breakfast item?
Hash browns?
I like poached eggs.
Chicken and waffles.
I'd say scrambled eggs.
French toast.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Blueberry pancakes.
Side of hash browns.
Thank you.
I'm going to commit a horrible sin, and I'm going to say that one of my favorite breakfasts is the full English. I like it. I like it. I like I like beans. I like black pudding. I'm into it. I don't eat the tomato. I'll be honest. I leave the tomato on the plate. Everything else, though, I'm into it.